FuMPRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
What do you have ready for us this week?
Well, welcome to episode 534 of the Funny Music Podcast, Just a Little Burning. We have a pre-recorded interview with Huck from the Van Stone Tribute Band. I always forget their name, some Rolling Thunder or something like that. And that's about it. Spaff and the rest of the Money Shot Cosmonauts were not available to join us. So welcome to episode 534 for September 10th, 2020. Let's
get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey!
What?
No, he's right.
So what you been up to?
Well, basically just working on that Animatic.
God, are you ever going to be done with that thing?
I set kind of a... I had set a deadline for myself, which is this Sunday. And I heard from Wally basically saying that he really needs this to be done so that he can move on to the next steps, so that hopefully they can make something happen soon, because there's somewhat of a ticking clock on it for reasons. So the way I'm looking at my progress right now is, even if I don't have it 100% finished by Sunday night, if I get it done by Monday or Tuesday at the latest, I should still be fine. And in fact, Wally is so one of the reasons it's going so slow is that I keep sending things to Wally to review, and he keeps giving me notes back on, like, oh, how about, could you add this thing, could you do this thing? I explain what some of them are in detail, but that would kind of give away what the thing is about.
Yeah.
So basically me having to double back and add all these things into the earlier finished part that he's suggesting is slowing down my process. So as of yesterday, I finally hit a point where it's like, okay, I've addressed all his notes for now. I'm just going to keep working on it and get the next big chunk of this finished and then send him that to review. But the point is, he was acknowledging that he has asked me to add so much more to this than was initially part of the thing, that he offered to pay me more. So he...
Wow, okay.
So yesterday I met up with him outside of a recording studio in Burbank, where he was going in to record some VO stuff, and he gave me another check, which was helpful because I was able to use that to pay off a car repair bill. So it was nice that he's thoroughly satisfied with the work I'm doing. It's just taking me a lot longer than normal because I'm basically, I'm not fully animating this, but there's a lot of stuff that involves a lot of animation fakery, so to speak, in Photoshop. And I'm also making every image like a complete image, even though it's in mostly black and white, shades of black and white. I still have to do a complete image and not just have like a blank white background or have characters who are just a drawing that aren't completed or filled in. So that's why this is taking so long. But that's pretty much... Has anything else happened in the past week? Not really. Yeah. That's pretty much been it. How about you?
I've been working on the FuMP Volume 82 album. I was going to work on it more yesterday, and then I ended up working for almost 16 hours at my day job. Yeah. For a short week, this has been a very long week, so not much has gotten done on anything other than work. The cover is coming out good, though. I came up with an idea last weekend and started working on it, and it's coming out nice. I just need to add a couple more things, tweak a couple things, and that'll be done. I got some art from Kyle for the back, and I need to lay that out. And I did complete the FuMPFest highlights video, FuMPFest 2020 highlights video, which is going to be on the FuMP Volume 82. It came out to 23 minutes. That was about as short as I could get it down without cutting anything really good. I could just make it a 5-minute video if I really wanted to, but I wanted to put the good stuff in too. So I think it came out really good. I'm really happy with it. And the other thing is, I've started working on FuMPFest again. I've reconfirmed a bunch of the acts for next year. I've updated the website. I haven't posted it live yet, but I'll probably do that this weekend. I just need to, get a couple of the artists back up there. And then that will, we'll be going head first into FuMPFest 2021. And I managed to score a raffle item, something I had been wanting to pick up for the raffle that we do every year. Do you remember in the 80s, Dr. Demento put out that vinyl box set, the 6 record box set? I scored one that's in really good condition.
Wow, cool.
So, so I'm going to be, that should arrive Saturday. And then we'll have that at next year's event as one of the raffle items. So I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. I mean, I found a copy of the 80s, which was 5 of the 6 albums, or the 5th of the 6 albums, and it still had the original picture sleeve inside that had all of the other albums you could order from Rhino Records, and an original sheet that was, the form to fill out and send in if you want to join the Demento Society.
Oh, nice.
And I found it for like $2 or $3 at some store in Chicago. I was blown away. So
nice. Was that on cassette?
No, on vinyl.
Oh, vinyl? Wow, okay. Cool. All right. Let's get into some music. So the first song this week is the return of Money Shot Cosmonauts, and because it was such a topical song, Spaff emailed me and was like, hey, can we get the song up right away? And I was like, okay. So we did. I rearranged the entire FuMP schedule going into the end of October to get this song up. So here is Bannon and Colfage by Money Shot Cosmonauts.
The venture called We Build the Wall. When Mexico said Trump shoots methanol, his claim that we would pace one more with no truth at all. They raised a zillion bucks by telling schmucks they'd spend it all to block the alien influx. But what they erected is kinda limp and small. Colfage and Bannon, they know who they're scamming. Colfage and Bannon are both a little slack in their jaws. Don't give to their cause, they'll blow all your dough just like they blew my brother-in-law's. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Where did the money go? Where did the money go? They built a voter list and planned to sell Republicans your name and phone and mail. A robocall from Don and Eric is my kind of hell. They dropped 900 grand on a pimped out boat, which sailed in a parade to juice the Trump vote. 6 more weeks and they were posting bail. Bannon and Colfage are planning a snow job. Bannon and Colfage are both a little toxically white, a bane and a blight. They'll steal cash with zeal and reveal what's wrong with the right. And ever since his first campaign, Trump's been saying he would clear the drain. But now the swamp is more insane, the most insane of all. Oh, 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 oh. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Where did the money go? Colfage and Bannon, you know who you're scamming. Colfage and Bannon, both of you can. Yeah, both of you can. And all your crew can. Go fund yourselves.
It's horrifying. It's nauseating. It's monstrous. It's back! The horror that is the Wackiness on the Rise Halloween Scare-a-thon is back for a second year with another full month of some of the most spookiest funny songs and parodies. What's even scarier is that it's 5 shows. 5 episodes of Halloween music from vampires, werewolves, zombies, ghosts, and the coronavirus? Okay, that's too much, so let's forget about that. 5 one-hour episodes of scary laughs. In total, 5 hours of horror. 5 times the scares, 5 times the laughs. And we'll be scaring the web all the way until the day before Halloween. Join us on Friday, October 2nd to Friday, October 30th for the second annual Wackiness on the Rise Halloween Scare-a-thon on madmusic.com and archive.org. Unless, of course, you're scared.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news. Hey, I didn't forget to unmute myself. All right. Amy Engelhart is offering songwriting classes. If anyone is interested in joining her for that, this is a 4-week course designed to help you focus your ideas and make compelling choices. It started doing 4 weeks, 4 Saturdays beginning September 26th, and only 6 applicants will be accepted. It's a special price of $225. And for any FuMP artists listening, she's offering an additional $25 off if you're interested in joining the course. Contact coldfootrecords@gmail.com if you would like to join her songwriting workshop. And Worm Quartet's Kickstarter is now fully funded. So congratulations, Shoebox. He was trying to raise $3,500. He is currently at $3,852, and he has announced a stretch goal. His stretch goal is $4,200, and he's about $550 away from that so far. So with 21 days to go, I don't see that not happening. He says, if we hit this goal, I'll get the vinyl made at 12 inches at 45 RPM rather than 7 inches at 33. It'll still be colored Pac-Man looking vinyl. It'll still have a gatefold sleeves. It'll just be bigger, and at 45 RPM, it'll be better sound quality. And because I've now got 74.6 more square inches of vinyl at my disposal, I'll also include a couple more songs, details forthcoming. So any pledge level that including vinyl will get the 12-inch record instead of the 7-inch record, and the digital CD and cassette releases will also include the new songs. Everybody wins. So if you haven't given to the Worm Quartet Kickstarter yet, go to Kickstarter and search for Worm Quartet, the Pac-Man EP. Because Pac-Man.
Yes.
And finally, I just want to mention Facebook has announced new guidelines. You know what? Let me check something.
While you're checking that, I'm going to make a sort of tease for news next week. There is a very good chance that next week I will be announcing the music guest of honor for MarsCon 2021.
Ooh, nice. Excellent.
Yeah, and this will be if MarsCon 2021 happens in person like normal, or if MarsCon 2020 needs to be a virtual convention. This guest of honor will be there in either fashion. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. What I was checking was how many viewers we have. We have 7 on Twitch, which is about normal. Facebook has 0, apparently, right now. So that's unusual. So I'm wondering if something got us pulled. But anyway, that's what I'm about to talk about. Facebook released new guidelines, which means we may have to stop streaming on Facebook. Their new guidelines say you may not use videos in your products to create a music listening experience. Whatever that means. From the article this came from, and thank you to Lewis Dobbin for pointing this out to me, and Sam Polkinghorn for pointing my attention to Lewis's post. This is from a quote from the article. So when an artist goes live on Facebook, ticketed or not, they need to be concerned not just that the Beatles cover they always do as an encore could trigger a takedown, but that their own songs, if not recognized as authorized, could as well. So basically, even though we have the rights to play all of our songs, I mean, the parodies are always at risk of being flagged by, Content ID services. But, you know, we have the rights to stream all of our own music. Facebook may not recognize that. They may take us down. It may affect our page and everything. So this goes into effect October 1st. I'm going to keep an eye on this and see if anything comes of it. But starting in October, we may not be streaming on Facebook anymore. Oh, well, Facebook's lost as far as I'm concerned. You got anything before tour dates, such as they are?
Nope.
Okay. Nothing to report from tour dates out of the usual. Escape from the Secret Lab on Fridays and Carla Ulbrich on Fridays. But I do want to mention Psychostick announced that their concert series should return next Thursday. So, yay having Psychostick back. Birthdays. Saturday, September 12th, Carla Ulbrich. Happy birthday, Carla.
Yay!
Carla giving me lots of business as far as CD duplication goes. So that's a good thing. All right. Let's get into our second song of the week, followed by a brief interview. Here is Black Belt by Van Stone.
My fist registers lethal weapons, cause I'm a black belt, black belt. I can break more than boards, I can break your neck. Yeah! Black belt, black belt. And I can beat that dude from Bloodsport Blade over on Revenge of the Nerds. Black belt. I ain't no taekwondo, I ain't no bushido. Man, I can train and show that. But I got style, there's no denial. It's a black belt of rock and roll. I'm a ninja, I'm a monk. I'm a samurai, and I can kill you with just one punch, yeah, straight between the eyes. So don't try to fuck with me, dude, cause if you do, you die. Chuck Norris was a movie star, now he's a really close friend of mine. I ain't no taekwondo, I ain't no bushido. Not even train and show that. But I got style, there's no denial. He's a black belt rock and roller. Chicks, I keep fucking my dick, love me long time. My meditation techniques and some herbal pills help me fuck all night. Her boyfriend comes home, he tries to start shit, but I run away. Cause a warrior knows when it's better to live and find another day. He walks the desert of a lonely land. There is a burden of his fellow man. This is the curse of his black belt still. Never use it to hurt to kill. His higher purpose is for greater good, helping the losers in his neighborhood. Losers in his neighborhood.
Your karate skills are very good, but it's no match for my testicle food.
In school and thought you were cool, well look at me now. I'm on top and I can't be stopped. And every time I'm fucking come out, try to wedge me now. I got a gun and I'll shoot you for fun. Motherfucker. I swear to God. Fuck you, Jimmy.
I'm here with Hawk of Power of Thunder, the tribute band for the legendary Van Stone. How you doing, Hawk? Welcome to the show. Yes, I second that. So how are you doing? We're losing your audio. How you doing?
Good, good. Oh, hold on.
There we go.
Check. Cheap. Cheap. Sibilance. Hey.
There you go.
Hey.
So how you doing, man?
Rock and roll.
That is the correct answer.
Rock and roll.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I'm getting like a 60 cycle hum or something. Do you hear that?
I'm not, but I am in my basement, and there's a furnace right here running my air conditioner, so that might be what you're hearing.
So it's on your end, not on
It
mine.
could
I just
be.
want to be clear. Okay.
Yeah, you have better headphones than I do, probably. So tell us about this song, and I'm particularly interested to hear about Rakate, because I took karate as a kid, and I was not aware of this, and I feel like I missed out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as everyone knows, after Randy Van Stone, there was an assassination attempt on his life by super stalker Jonathan Henry Sinclair. Randy, after his rehabilitation, realized that he could no longer, he was no longer safe in this world. His sense of security had been shattered, and so he took a sabbatical and walked the desert and realized that he needed to learn how to protect himself from not just super stalkers but bullies and the forces, the powers, the powers that be out in the universe that are against us all. So Randy worked with our head of security, Porkchop, who is a former cage fighter and also a special forces trainer, for about a week or so, and learned the basic fundamental moves of some of the martial arts, and then decided to incorporate that into his own style that he developed, which was basically using the sort of brutality and lethalness of the Eastern martial arts and combining it with the swagger of rock and roll to form Rakate.
That sounds amazing. I'm fascinated by the concept of a pit fighter or a cage fighter named Porkchop.
Yeah, it's not a concept. He's a real person.
Like
Yeah,
I've never heard of,
he's-
I don't follow cage fighting much, but I've never heard of Porkchop. But yeah, so he taught him the basics in a week.
Porkchop was not his cage fighting name. That was the name that was given to him when he trained special forces.
Oh, okay, that makes far more sense.
Yeah. No, he went by his real name in the ring.
Okay.
Gary Seibert's brother is his real name.
Okay. So, but he taught Randy in a week all the basics.
Well, yeah, he taught him the basics of sort of punching and the basics, and then Randy took that and watched a lot of martial arts flicks, Bloodsport in particular, as well as Kumite, and then took those and combined them with the sort of on-stage swagger that one would have when one fronts a rock and roll band, and turned it into Rakate.
Yeah, I definitely missed out on this. That would have been awesome to learn that growing up.
Yeah, no, there was a string of Rakate dojos across the U.S. at the time that he was able to open. They've all since closed except for the one over by the Piercing Pagoda in Palmdale. There were lawsuits and there were reasons why they had to close. It's just, say paralysis, I guess, is not a way to go through life.
No, absolutely not. So how did it work out for him with the Rakate? Was he able to fend off the bullies and everyone else and the super stalkers and everything?
Well, yeah. I mean, he never actually ended up using it. In a one, sort of a one-on-one, mano-a-mano, hand-to-hand combat situation. But a lot of times in class or whatever, he was able to beat a lot of people up.
That's always good.
Yeah. No, that's how I learned. I learned getting beaten. I learned how to get beaten up by getting beaten up.
So have you done a lot of Rakate?
I've gotten beaten up a lot. I definitely. I mean, I'm currently a a yellow belt and a half, where you get the extra stripe. I've got that. I've got the yellow plus the stripe in Rakate. I've been studying for like 25 years.
Do the belts mimic like guitar strings in any way or anything like that?
They look more like wrestling belts, act like the kind of belts that you win when you win a wrestling title.
Okay.
Which, Randy and I used to be a tag team in the Palmdale Backyard Wrestling Association.
Of course.
Yeah. Until Blacky Sawyer stole the belt.
And he didn't use his Rakate to get the belt back from Blacky Sawyer?
Blacky Sawyer resorts to dirty tricks. Blacky Sawyer and the Horde always resorts to dirty tricks. They've been at the top of the Palmdale Backyard Wrestling Association championship, as long as they have. It's not because they fight fair. They don't. So how can you use Rakate, which is a legitimate fighting style, against cheaters? You can't. Cheaters always prosper.
Yeah. I suppose.
Yeah.
So tell us about this song.
Let's talk about Blacky Sawyer real quick, because I think that's an interesting thing. Because Blacky Sawyer, sworn enemy in the ring, the worst that the Palmdale Backyard Wrestling Association has to offer, and the Horde, terrific bass player and great on stage. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Yeah.
So tell us about this song. What's the deal with this song?
Well, this song came about because, Randy, as he developed Rakate, his own fighting style, again, based on the Eastern martial arts and combining that with the Western arts of rock and roll, he became a black belt in developing his own style. So he's a black belt in developing his own style. He's like a 7th degree black belt, and he, realized that he needed to incorporate that back into the music itself, sort of like the Ouroboros eating its own snake tail.
Right. So the rock feeds the karate, which feeds the Rakate, which feeds the rock music.
Rock, yeah. So the song is not biographical per se, but it's biographical in the way that a snake could write a song about eating its own tail.
Gotcha. Which would sound all muffled if you tried to sing it, I think.
Yes. And then it would probably just be one of those songs that you're like, okay, we got it. It just keeps going. Like, why is this, sort of there's a point in Freebird where you're like, guys, you could have ended the song there. And, they don't. Let's just say that they don't.
Cool. Well, I dig the song. I think it's great. I took Taekwondo when I was a kid, so I can relate to this.
Nice.
I kind of wish I had known about Rakate. I feel like I missed out. That would have been awesome. Learn how to rock and kick ass at the same time. Yeah.
Well, you learn more about how to look cool. It's more about looking cool than it is about anything else. So
that's
maybe
something I absolutely could have used. Because I did not look cool in the least. I mean, I still don't. But I mean, when I was a kid, I looked like Ronald McDonald's evil offspring. It was nasty.
But here's the thing. Knowing Taekwondo, though, you could have actually defended yourself against people who are like, that guy looks like Ronald McDonald's evil offspring.
Right.
Right. With Rakate, you just look cool. Let's just say there's not a lot of
actual self-defense.
No, that's just, yeah. I mean, it's like it's that sort of thing though. It's like where it's like if you look that much cooler than somebody else, they might be inclined to be like, I'm just gonna back away from this.
He looks like he can kick my ass.
Yeah,
okay, well, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how far did you get in Taekwondo?
I got my black belt when I was 12.
Wow.
And then we bounced around to a couple other styles. We tried. I did some more Taekwondo in high school for a little bit, and then my father and I tried a Kung Fu school, which was a joke, and we quit there. It was an Americanized Kung Fu like mashup thing. It was pathetic. And
it was like everything was in slow-mo when it was fights like Kung Fu the show, like that.
Well, I mean, sort of. I mean, it was like an Americanized, watered-down version of Kung Fu, and literally every move they taught us, we knew a Taekwondo move to counter it. So the first time I sparred at the Kung Fu school, they put me up against this blue belt who came 5 times a week and was like really serious about it, and I beat him in about a minute. You know, it was just boom, 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 3 points, and the match was over because every move he did, I knew a counter immediately, and I scored on him. And it was just, after that, we were like, yeah, this is not doing anything for us. And then the kicker was when they tried to teach us how to defend ourselves against a gun, and they had us pair off and do these exercises, and they gave one side plastic guns and told them to jab the other person in the face with the gun. And that was, I think, the last class we attended, because we walked out of that class and my father and I looked at each other and we were like, no, this is stupid. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot of like, there are a lot of hoodlums walking around jabbing people in the face with guns. So
yeah, it's a big problem in America, apparently, you know?
Yes.
So. So do you
that's cool. So you didn't need to look cool though.
I did not need to
because you had the skills. You had the mad skills. Yes.
So do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, power. Well, it's difficult right now in the times we live in with COVID and also the apocalypse of fire that's raining down on us because of the evils of mankind.
Right.
That you can't really do much of anything live unless you're committed to keeping, social distance, at least 6 feet apart. So the Power of Thunder, the Van Stone tribute act that I front playing Randy Van Stone, we're putting on a socially distant show in which none of us are going to be in the actual same space.
Okay.
And we're encouraging all of the Van Stoniacs out there who want to bring their own Power of Thunder to form mosh pits in which you keep your distance 6 feet apart.
Okay, I could see that working.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
And we will catch you next time.
Right on. Rock and roll!
I'm stopping there. Okay.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback. Number 11 wrote, sarcophagus is Greek for flesh eating. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Bob. And that's all the feedback we got.
All right.
So,
teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Larry Tritel.
Yay.
We're going to have a special Sunday bonus song by the great Luke Ski.
Me.
You. And Tuesday's song is by the Brothers Marks.
Ooh.
And this week's Spotify playlist topic is school, because my kids are now back in school. Today was Jeremy's first day at school. He's been basically since the quarantine started, he's been staying up all night playing video games, going to bed between like 4 and 6 in the morning for all I know. I really don't know. And then this morning he had to get up at 6:30 to be out of the house by 6:45. So he actually managed to do it. So happy about that. We'll see how long this lasts.
We will see.
All right. I don't think Money Shot Cosmonauts or Van Stone have websites. So look them up on the FuMP. They will link back to wherever they are.
Yes, that's the thing that will happen.
You got anything else?
Nope, I do not have anything else.
All righty then. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spies.
I'm Lutski.
And nobody else is here.
Nobody.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Shout it to random people on the street. And be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Draw a smile on a paper plate, and it's a good song, and Dr. Demento played it.